You know, in any high stakes job, experience is king. But what if there was a skill that could actually multiply the value of every single experience you have? Well, today, we're going to dive into the power of reflection and how it can turn those everyday events into some serious career defining expertise.
So, if you're in emergency services, your whole world is about action, right? Training, drills, the real world calls. It's all about doing things and doing them correctly, like right now. And that training is tough for a reason. I mean, you are constantly drilled on these absolutely critical hands on skills: assessing patients, controlling chaos, mastering your gear, and, of course, making huge decisions under insane amounts of pressure. These are the cornerstones of the job, for sure.
But you know, beyond all that noise and action, there's another skill. It's not really something that's always taught in an academy or shouted during a drill. It's something that develops a lot more quietly, usually over a long career.
And this brings us to a really crucial idea: the experience gap. Just think of it as this void between simply having an experience and actually learning from it. Without the right mindset, so many valuable lessons can just fall into this gap and get lost forever. And here's where it all comes together. See, without reflection, calls, whether they were good or bad, are just things that happened. They're events that kind of fade into the past. But with reflection, whoa, those exact same experiences totally transform. They become lessons. They become real, actual learning. So, what is this powerful tool? Well, it's the skill of reflection. And hey, this isn't some abstract philosophical thing we're talking about. It's a practical, professional skill you can learn and sharpen, just like any other. So, what is reflection, really? It's super simple. It's just the practice of hitting the pause button to examine an experience. That's it. It's about intentionally slowing down for a second to look back at what happened and maybe even why it happened. And here's the thing: you are probably already doing this. A lot of responders practice reflection all the time. They just don't call it that. It happens in those informal moments, usually after a tough call. Just think about that post-call talk with your partner or your crew. You're back in the truck or at the station just running through it. So what happened? What went well? What could we have maybe done a little differently? That right there, that's informal reflection. It's already part of the culture. So the real goal is to take that natural instinct and turn it into a conscious professional habit. But to do that, sometimes you got to push back against this idea in the culture that looking back is a sign of hesitation or doubt. And let's just get one thing perfectly straight. Reflection is not weakness. It is not about second-guessing yourself into paralysis. In fact, it's pretty much the exact opposite. The key thing to get is this: reflection is one of the main ways that professionals actually grow. It's a sign of maturity, of confidence, and a real commitment to getting better. It's what separates a 20-year veteran from someone who just has 1 year of experience repeated 20 times.
Okay, so how do we make these lessons actually last? How do we move from just having that informal chat to making this a deliberate professional practice? Well, it all starts by asking ourselves one really simple but incredibly powerful question. After a call, after a training session, after a tricky interaction, just pause and ask yourself, what did this experience teach me? Seriously, making a habit of asking this one question is the foundation for turning your daily work into a non-stop source of learning. So, I've got a question for you to think about right now. When was the last time you really paused to reflect on an experience from work? Not just letting it fly by, but really stopping to think about what you learned from it. Because in the end, it really comes down to this powerful idea: your career is going to be filled with experiences that teach you countless lessons. Reflection is the tool that you use to make sure those hard-won lessons are never, ever lost.